RPG for You and Me presents Neon Heat, an actual play duet podcast using the Savage World system and our custom cyber fantasy setting. It's been a labor of love creating it for the past several years, and we hope you enjoy.
Previously on Neon Heat, Athena and Lepaco deploy to the fans under heavy fire, and after a decisive fight, they discover the turncoat was Regulator Nema. They're helped by Iris, a worker stranded at the facility, to turn the fans back on and begin to clear the toxic mist from the city. The group walks on the highway track back to the Spire, and once there, Athena proceeds to the Proctor's office to begin her interrogation.
Athena, you are standing in the office of Proctor Olet Reitz, head of the Regulation Department, joined by Delegate Talina Rasmus, head of the Pacification Department, and bound in a chair in front of you is Regulator Nema. The room is bathed in soft orange light being thrown off by the glowing wall of Cori energy. Nema blinks up at the three of you and says, "Shit." Spits on the ground next to her, and then tries to lean back in her and so is she handcuffed behind it right now?
Yeah,
or?
I think so.
And leans back in the chair and just heaves a deep breath and sits there in silence.
Seems like we got some talking to do, Nema. What would you like to offer up first?
She stares at you, blinking, and then looks between Reitz and Rasmus in silence as well, and blinks again, and then just looks back to you and raises an eyebrow.
Your options aren't looking good either way, but it's probably gonna be easier if you just tell us some stuff, and then we can get to the nitty-gritty later. Little details. Sound good?
Make a persuasion. No penalties.
4.
And she sort of rolls her eyes as you say that and says, what do you want to know?
Where'd you get these lovely guns that you were shooting at me with? Shouldn't be here.
Imports.
From where?
The surface.
How'd they find their way down here?
That I don't know.
Who'd you get them from?
They were left for me.
Who was giving you your new orders? Certainly wasn't the Proctor.
She looks over to Reitz and sort of tilts her head a little bit, and then looks back to you and says nothing.
I asked you a question.
So let's talk about this really quick. This is obviously an interrogation.
Yeah.
Like, that's what we're doing right here. Mechanically, I think the most appropriate thing for an interrogation is going to be a combination between a social encounter and a dramatic task based on how you approach doing it.
Okay.
Right? So I like to handle as much of it as possible through roleplay, and, give you modifiers and bonuses and penalties based on how you approach the situation and what it is you're doing to try to, get the information out of her.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't want it to devolve into, make a roll. No, that
right.
So it'll be a little in and out. At this point, she's refusing to answer your question. You're just asking her again, or you...
She asks more firmly this time.
So I think if you ask firmly, she's just gonna sit there and stare at you. She smiles a little bit. Just gives you a condescending smile.
Athena smiles too, and she does turn her one bracer into a dagger.
Oh, geez. Okay.
She looks over her shoulder at Reitz and gives her a dubious squint, and turns back to Nema and says, lightning tends to hurt a lot more when it has a conduit it can go into.
Oh, she said the thing.
She said the thing. So maybe I put this in your leg and it's a little easier for me to give you some zaps.
Oof. Go ahead and roll intimidation +2. That's pretty dirty.
10.
Jesus, okay. 10 is a success with a raise.
As she does, I think she twirls the little knife through her fingers. I think she used to practice that with Isaac, just to pass time.
Sure. You do that, and Nima, her eyes widen. She's got light pink skin and the lavender hair. She's got the scale platings.
Forehead
area. And then, I guess her eyes are like a peach color.
Yeah, they're like a deep pinky peach.
Like a pinky peach. And then
a little bit deeper than her skin.
Pupils are black. Yeah, so you do that. Her eyes widen, and she looks from you to Reitz and Rasmus and says, "What, you just gonna let her torture me here? Is that how we're doing this?"
Well, you did kill a bunch of people upstairs. And attempts on my life, and whatever you're trying to... What's the word I'm looking for? All the trouble you were gonna stir up citywide. Complicit in that. An active participant in that. So I think I'm well within my rights as a regulator to do what I need to do to get this information out of you.
Reitz is the one who speaks up first, and she says, "Agreed." Rasmus just sort of behind you.
Do her legs make like clicky noises as they're like fiddling together?
I think so.
They're so big and scary.
They're mantisy, so. I think she says, "Would you believe me if I didn't have a name?"
I mean, I've believed crazier things. How did they get in contact with you?
Dead drops.
Cool. What else have they had you doing?
Surveillance.
Are you the one that's been telling people where Tuka is so they can come and ice her?
Her eyes narrow just a little bit, and she says, "Well, not always."
I think she slaps her.
Yeah, you do that, and there's a... and then she... Kick was better.
I mean, I can't put... I don't... Oh, no, I could, actually. And then she makes her other bracer into Knuckles.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
So she's got a dagger in one hand and Knuckles in the other hand.
Jesus, okay.
Thanks for the suggestion. Got anything else for me?
And she looks
I'm hoping you do.
Nope.
You can kind of see what's... The tide of the conversation seems to be going, Nima.
You think I'm the only party working in this city?
Of course not. I'm not a dipshit.
The city is rotten.
Do tell.
There's corruption everywhere. Politics, regulators, on the street in LaraCorp. It's everywhere.
So what were you trying to accomplish? Just making everybody real angry at each other? Hoping it'll just sort itself out in riots?
Well, it's not exactly my master plan. I'm just playing a part. But big things are made out of small things.
What small things have you been doing? Just surveillance?
I'm
Shooting at your fellow regulators?
my fellow regulators.
Yeah.
Oh, like you, who showed up out of nowhere, from the surface, claiming to be a slave. Just out of the blue.
This isn't about me. We're talking about you.
Well, it's not really about me either, is it? It's about all of us. It's about the city. It's about control. It's about freedom. It's about power.
It always is.
Isn't it? It's the way of civilization, Sedaris.
Who's Krell?
She looks at you and shrugs.
Oh, good. What about this Ali Sahir? What's that mean to you? Anything? 'Cause I'll tell you what, I've had a really long day. I'm really tired of not knowing shit.
I think you say Ali Sahir and she smirks a little bit. Ali Sahir. That's, I don't know. It's, words. I've heard them around. I don't know what it means.
Athena's gonna do a lie check.
This is gonna be at... just make it straight.
5?
She seems to be telling the truth. Nima looks around at Rasmus and says, "I know you've seen a delegate. You've been here longer than anybody else, right? Cities falling to pieces. People moving in, people moving out. Taking power, doing whatever they want to." Rasmus wrinkles her nose and says nothing.
How much were they paying you?
It's not about the money, Sedaris.
But they were paying you, so it is a little bit about the money, I guess.
They weren't paying me.
Oh, they weren't. This was
No.
just out of the goodness of your heart, doing some volunteer work.
I wouldn't say the goodness of my heart. I would say that I'm helping to make a better future.
Doesn't sound like you're working towards a better future. So many more people are dead than there had to be tonight, and you're partially responsible, it seems. Why is that? I'd love to hear your logic train.
This establishment, Sedaris, the corrupt bureaucrats, the people who sit above us and tell us what is right and what is wrong and what we're entitled to. You come from that. You sit higher than most. Granddaddy on the council.
I think she's really tired of hearing people pull that one out. I think she does stab her in the leg.
Oh man, okay. I mean, if the only goal is to cause pain and interrupt this line of dialogue,
yep,
then you succeed. Like that'll happen. I think Athena has the wherewithal to know that this person is extremely beat up right now.
She'll stab it into the least beat up part of her, the leg.
Gotcha. All right, yeah. She cries out in surprise and pain as you do that. Go ahead and roll me an intimidate. I'll give you a +4 for that.
6.
6, okay.
She leans down and says, "It doesn't matter what I come from because I'm a regulator first."
And she just screams through it. And I think when she screams, her mouth opens up a little wider and her tongue sort of flails out. You say that, and she starts going.
Just take a minute.
Staring daggers back at you from the eyes, not in the
eye
leg.
daggers. I think she turns around to Reitz and Rasmus.
You turn around and Rasmus has like one eyebrow raised pretty significantly, like, I didn't see this coming. And Reitz is watching you. I think she's a bit more stoic about the entire affair.
Right.
And they look at each other, and I think Reitz is the one that speaks. She said she's getting dead drops from someone with instructions for surveillance, and now she's acted directly in some sort of, what is it, a coup attempt?
It seems it's coup adjacent, I think.
Coup adjacent. Fuck.
You know, Nima, you might be trying to fight the disease, but you're involving regular people. They're just people. They don't have any bearing on what these higher-ups are doing, so you're just ruining lives for no reason. I think she says that over her shoulder, like, and another thing!
And another thing, yeah. She's still, gritting through the pain and just sort of... It's not no reason, if you can call those lives. Save the people who matter. Not everyone matters. You didn't seem concerned.
Athena was about to tell her to fuck off, and then she tacked on that last little gem, and she's a little quieter.
When Athena remains silent, Nima looks up at her with a smug expression. And I think she looks over to Reitz and says, Proctor, what's the death toll at right now? You might want to check the final numbers when you're ready.
She looks a little nervously to Reitz first about that. Do we have numbers?
I don't have them.
What is she talking about?
What are you talking about? And she says, you've been killing citizens. You idiots.
Oh, that's bad.
Is that Athena?
Yep.
What, you didn't think it was weird that people weren't opening fire into crowds of people? Wouldn't that have been a much easier way to cause chaos?
I'm sure it would have been. What are you doing to them? I know, not you. It's kind of royal you. What are you doing to these people? Because I'll tell you what, it's as good as killing them.
It wasn't me that did anything, but I was aware to some extent. Bad things happen sometimes. The only way to make a difference is to have the power to. I didn't have it. I still don't. So, I let some suffer to a greater end. I don't make the rules, and there's only one that matters. Survival.
You're throwing out some real contradictory statements there.
The world's a complicated place. Well, you can't get worked up about it.
Oh, you'd be surprised what I can get worked up about.
Sort of like being upset over stubbing your toe or needing to cut your fingernails. These things happen, no use dwelling on it. Or it's just part of the process. Just maintenance. If you could get away with not doing it, you would.
God, that's so fucking disrespectful. People are dead, and you're comparing them to fingernail clippings? What gives you the right?
I think she shrugs at that and says, because I want to stay alive.
You could have helped other people stay alive, too.
Nima leans in and says, I'm trying.
I don't think you are.
Nima grits her teeth and says, perspective, and you can't save everyone.
But you can try. You didn't.
She shrugs and sort of tries to motion with her elbows.
I'm getting real tired of how vague you're being. And I think you've seen I'm not very afraid of causing you physical harm. So I guess I'm just gonna do more of that.
Let me ask you this. Are you gonna let me go? Are you gonna let me walk away? Maybe banish me to the surface forever?
That's not for me to decide. I'm just a tool, I guess. Just a tool. Just a little, I'm the gun, someone else gonna fire me, I guess. I don't know.
You say that and she cants her head and opens her eyes a little bit wider and nods and says, so you do have a brain.
Why is everybody so fucking surprised about that? And she activates shape metal and wants to take away the 2 back legs of the chair.
You do. I like that a lot. Go ahead. It's fun.
19.
Ooh, that's big.
She does a quick, just a sweep with her arm and shears the legs off and they clatter onto the other side of the room.
That's really cool. Take a Benny for that.
Thank
I like that a lot. You do that and Nima lets out a of surprise as she clatters backwards and maybe she bounces her head off the ground and spits once and says,
I'm sorry, concussions are they're so bad for you.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's funny to hear you, talk about yourself as a weapon and then threaten and intimidate and physically harm someone in pretty much the same boat. So I think you see my point, that it's all dressed up however you want it to be. Whatever lies you need to tell yourself to get through the day. Whatever pedestal you put yourself on to make you better than me. Whatever makes you feel better about that.
I'm feeling a little better after I did that, to be quite frank. I think she just is working at her forehead where her circlet was burning into her earlier and just turns to... I mean, Nima probably can't see them anymore because she's on her fucking back. Just to them and throws her hands a little bit.
Can you make me a notice at -4?
-4?
Yeah.
5.
5?
5.
Okay. It sounds like she's got a little bit more vigor than she did a minute or two ago.
That's not good.
Like she's just a little bit more vocal, a little chattier than she was.
Looks like she's getting some of her pep back. She whispers to her bosses.
Nima's on the ground and she just says, always getting kicked around, cleaning up messes. This city could be more. We could all be more. You haven't been here. You haven't had to watch it slide.
I've come back and seen that it's already slid, so I'm trying to fix it.
Me too.
You're real bad at it, apparently.
So are you.
We're working on it, aren't we? She rolls her eyes and turns back to Reitz and Rasmus.
Rasmus speaks up when you turn around. Sedaris asked about the control. How are you controlling people? Looks over to you and nods back over to Nima.
If Nima's quiet, Athena will walk over to her and kneel and put a hand on the dagger. The delegate asked you a question. Like getting ready with some crackles in her fingers.
She looks up at you and her eyes flick, so she's on her back right now. And I think her eyes flick down to where she can't see Rasmus, past her legs and stuff, and then back to you. And she licks her lips and says, like I said, it's not really my purview, but I know it has something to do with the dust, the drugs, or at least that was the big surprise today. Otherwise, contact, I guess, depends on the person.
The person giving or receiving?
She purses her lips and considers that and says, probably giving.
So how many people are in such a giving mood? I know it's not your purview. I don't want you to step out of your pay grade or anything. But I'd love to know.
Well, I said I wasn't in the business of controlling. I didn't say I didn't know.
That's a fun little thing to skip over. She rubs her hands together and makes some static. I think her eyes have been low-key glowing this whole time.
Well, here's the thing. If you're gonna just kill me anyway, why should I tell you?
That's a good question. I mean, I could just go get the Oculus right now and have him drag it all out of your brain, and that would hurt a lot more.
Make me a notice roll. Just a straight up notice.
7.
You're just bending down, talking to her.
Mm-hmm.
There's a shifting in your peripheral vision, and you look over, and Reitz and Rasmus have both, like, turned to each other and are having a silent eye conversation, and then they notice you noticing and stop and look back.
I think she squints at them so Nima can't see, but she wants to convey, did I overstep?
I think this time Reitz looks back to Rasmus, and Rasmus sort of stares at her and then looks back at you and just very faintly, like, puts a hand up, like
stop?
She puts her hand up to you in a flat palm up gesture facing you.
She puts her palm up too, looks back at Nima. Like the threat still stands, but she doesn't know if it still does in reality. I think she bends down to whisper to her a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've been learning about brains and a little bit of psionics over, past couple weeks. Been back. It seems to me like we don't have to kill you. We could just trap you in some kind of perilous torture loop inside of your own brain forever. Isn't that something you'd like to avoid? Wouldn't that be cool?
Oh, geez. Go ahead and make me another intimidate. I'll give you a +4 for that.
5.
5, okay. I think you say that, and some of the smugness, like, drains out of her face, and she's just looking at you.
I think Athena's beside her, like with one knee on the ground and one up, and just kind of leaning on the knee that's not on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Just waiting.
There's a long pause, and she looks away from you and purses her lips a little bit. Don't bring the Oculus.
Oh, why?
There's a gulp, and her eyes flick to where she presumes that Reitz and Rasmus are standing, and she looks back to you and she says, "Don't trust the Oculus."
Oh, why? I'd just love to hear why I shouldn't, though.
He's Davith's protege.
Yeah, everybody knows that.
But not everyone knows why that's a problem.
Why is that a problem?
She smirks at you a little bit and says, "Just another party vying for power, I guess." And she leans in a little bit, and there's a creak of her uniform as it strains against the leather.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, "Not everyone can poke around in your head, though." Ever wonder what happened to Davith?
He just went up to go find Joel, right? Retired?
This time, she looks back at you and responds, "Retired."
Think we're getting a little off track here.
And she leans back down, and she says, much louder, "Show of hands who trusts the Oculus. I know I don't count because I'm bound."
I think Athena looks over her shoulder.
Reitz and Rasmus exchange a glance, but say nothing and give no indication of their stance on this matter.
I didn't see any hands go up, but I think that's mostly because you're just not calling the shots here.
Who is?
Not me. But especially not you. Speaking of, who's in charge, who's out there pulling these little puppet strings? Just moving around these little chess pieces.
I know of 2.
Oh, good.
There are more, but I don't know who they are.
Well, let's start with the ones you do.
Harlan Troya and my patron. I don't have a name.
Oh, well, and you don't really know them, do you?
No, I suppose I don't.
So your patron? How have you been involved with this person?
What do you mean?
I mean, it seems like they're different to you than this Troya dude.
Of course, they're my patron.
Elaborate for me. On account I'm so dumb.
You say that, and she looks back to you. She really gives you a good look now. Her eyes are a deep peach, and there's a slight sheen of, like, energy that sort of flicks past her eyes. It's like a dark purple.
Dark purple?
Athena, I would like you to make me a smarts roll, please.
Yeah, I can do that. 5.
You have another surge of heat through the circlet on your forehead, and it singes your skin, and there's a brief moment where there's a wash of purple over your vision.
Everything's purple?
Everything's purple for less than a second,
Oh,
and then
fuck.
it's gone. This happens while you're looking at Nima, and as that happens, you watch her eyes widen in just absolute shock.
Huh.
And she says, in a very quiet whisper, "You're like me.
What?
How are you involved in this?
Involved in what?
Who's your patron?
Are you...
Get me out of here. I'm more valuable to you alive. Get me out of here."
Okay. No, we're not doing that.
How are you involved in this?
I don't know. I'm just on a task force.
Do the others know?
There's nothing to know.
You're like me. You're involved in this somehow.
I wish I knew what you were talking about, but I don't. So why don't you just tell me some more about these things that I'm involved in?
What, you don't have a patron?
No. I'd love to know about your patron.
You want answers? I have some.
Well, if you want to get out of here alive, you should just tell me something. Anything. It's on you, Nima.
I'm just a link in the chain. Like you. I don't know who's at the top, but I know someone else who's connected that likes to pretend they are.
Oh, yeah? Who is that?
Suzette Olivier.
Oh, okay.
Never paid you a visit?
I don't think so. Was she supposed to?
I don't know. I don't know how you factor into this, but you have the seats.
The what?
I think she just shakes her head at that. Call it whatever you want to. You're involved in this. You have that spark.
This is a bad time for come-ons, Nima.
This isn't a joke.
Are you sure? Because I'm laughing. This is ridiculous.
Well, looks like I'm not the only puppet in this room. She says that much louder to catch the attention of Rasmus and Reitz. I don't know who my patron is, but she's supposed to be it. She's pretending. A front. A fake. There's more at work. I bet she's holed up at Ole Resort. Last I checked. Wouldn't bet on it now, though.
Well, I don't really know anything about this Olivier person, but thanks for the hot tip.
Well, if I'm dead anyway, might as well give that bitch her just desserts.
So you don't like her that much?
She's another part of the problem. This is a ladder, said Harris. You gotta work your way up from the bottom.
So, if I didn't kill you, we'd just be vying for the same rung, wouldn't we?
Depends on what your goals are. You get me out of here, I'll leave. Never see me again.
That's not even a little tempting.
I can help you.
I really doubt it.
You don't know what you're in for. You don't know what's waiting on the other side.
You know what? That's life.
This isn't any kind of life you've ever heard of.
Well, then I'll look forward to it, I guess.
Well, I hope you're strong enough. Otherwise, it'll consume you. But it's only a matter of time.
Well then, I'll do what I can with the time I have left. Use it efficiently.
Her eyes do begin to glow. That same deep purple laced with this inky blackness in her eyes. They glow as she looks at you, and she smiles.
She grabs her hair and rips her head up to her mouth so her ear can just be right there and say, "What's the fucking parasite?"
And she laughs again, and her eyes are still the same color now. And she says, "The parasite. I have only heard that term from my patron. And only about Harlan Troya.
Oh, yeah?
In relation, the parasite is new, or so I understand, a splinter. The herald, now heralded, Ali Sahir.
Who were they a herald for?
That's the big question, isn't it?
Yeah, and I'd love a fucking answer.
Probably the next rung on the ladder.
How can you know they used to be a big deal and splinter off of something else? It seems like you know what they splintered from.
I only have what I was told. Same as you. No one has the full picture, it seems. But the parasite, crude methods. Domination, control, conscription. If you and I are the tools of fine craftsmanship, the parasite's tools are churned out on an assembly line. Tell me, what happens if you hammer a square peg into a round hole?
Well, I don't think it ends well for either thing, does it?
No.
What does it want? It wants to consume, destroy.
To be heralded? To be known? What do the young always crave? Power, recognition, influence.
This is very vexing for me. This is a very trying conversation.
I think she smiles at that and she says, "Don't you want to know more?
God, I would just love to.
Keep me alive. Help me get out of here.
Oh, you know I can't do that.
I think you know you can do whatever you want to."
I think Athena leans back a little bit and kind of squints at her.
You have the power. Use it. Harness and control it, or you'll be just another puppet.
Quite honestly, I think you saw wrong. I'm just a person. But hey, if you're all big and powerful, it's pretty cool for me to bring you in just being a normal person.
She looks away, maybe looks back up to the ceiling. Well, these things take time. I'm sure you'll know before long.
I feel like we might have lost the thread here, because I'm interrogating you. It's not the other way around.
I suppose it doesn't matter.
Why is that?
If I can't leave here, if you're just going to kill me anyway, what do I have to lose?
It's not for me to decide, like I said.
That is your decision then, isn't it? Don't pretend like you don't have a choice. Everyone has a choice. Everyone.
Well, I guess I'm choosing to let you die.
She smiles a little bit sadly, and she says, "How much do we know about the world now? We have books, tomes, files, information about what it used to be like, but it doesn't matter anymore. We know so little. There's so much out there, clinging to this old way. People are so afraid of getting their hands dirty that they reject change. But I would rather die for change than live in stagnation, under someone else's boot. Sometimes you have to break that cocoon, like a butterfly." And then I think she looks over to you and says, "Or a moth." And I think when she says that, the color of her eyes ripples outwards, and now this dark purple blackness is wreathing the top of her face like a mask.
Oh, fuck.
And then
she's gonna just kill Nima, I guess.
Her hands are glowing with the same energy, and she just bursts the cuffs and levitates up off the ground.
Levitates? Mm-hmm. God damn it.
Yeah. And what do you do?
I'm gonna give it all I got.
All right, so at this point, I'm saying this is initiative.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Is that fair? All right.
Oh my god.
First one, Athena. That is an ace of hearts. Nima gets a 3 of hearts. That's bad. Reitz gets a 5 of clubs, and Rasmus gets a joker. Shit.
Is that for me?
I guess you do get a
Is that
Benny.
for me?
Yeah.
Oh.
All right, I'm going to spend one of her bennies to reroll, or to redraw this card. 9 of hearts. It's better, I guess. So Rasmus gets to go first.
I'm so excited to see this cool old lady fight.
Because she has a joker, she can go whenever she wants to, so I'm going to hold her action for now. I'm going to say it's now Athena's turn with the ace of hearts.
Gotcha.
Athena, what do you do?
Well, I'm going to be a little bold. Can I multi-action to try and cast 2 upcast bolts?
Sure.
Awesome.
I love it.
She is so angry right now. She's so... Okay, she's confused. She's angry. She really wants to impress her bosses. So, here she goes.
Sure. So it's going to be a -2 to both of these. And is damage the only thing you're putting on there?
Yeah, just damage.
Okay.
For now. So this is the first one at -2, because it's a multi-action?
They're both at -2.
I'm going to Benny that.
I think you just got that Benny.
5.
5 is a success.
I'm going to roll that damage.
Sure. 3d6.
Oh my god! 12 plus 8. 20. Fuck. 24 damage.
24 damage? Are you shitting me?
No!
Oh my god, okay. Jesus. Holy shit.
Maybe Athena should have been a pacifier.
Alright, well, she needs to try to soak this. So So Nima is still in her regulator garb.
Right.
Which is, she has the
wingsuit.
Right. So her toughness with armor is 9, which is, she has a d6 bigger. So 5 plus her 4 armor is 9. So 9 is success, 13 is 1, 17 is 2, 21 is 3. So the first one hits for 3 wounds. So I used 1 Benny already. So I have 2 Bennies. One is my GM, one is hers. So
right.
Here we go. That is 1 success. I'll eat that. So she's now at 2 wounds. What you did not see directly earlier is that her wounds were
healing,
were closing that whole time. Yeah, so
kind of what Athena has inferred. I'm gonna cast my second bolt.
Please do, by all means. At a -2.
I'm gonna Benny that.
So many Benjamins.
-2, you say?
Uh-huh.
Last Benny.
Oh, geez, here we go.
I just want to fry this bitch.
Here we go, y'all.
Yes. 6. Just 6
Right,
to cast.
6. Success. So 3d6 damage.
3d6.
Now, are you shooting to kill right now?
Absolutely. 11.
11 damage. So she is still shaken because she didn't soak all the wounds, so she took 2 wounds before. 11 will deal 1 more wound, so she's now at 3 wounds.
She really quick fires off 2 separate finger guns, but she is so angry and just frustrated with her general life situation, and she just channels that all right into this purple lightning, and it arcs into the dagger that's still in her leg.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's why it did so much damage. Right?
Okay, cool. So she rises up off the ground, leaving the chair behind, and you're holding this dagger, and you're just...
Oh no, I'm just arcing it into the dagger from, like, as she's
levitating
I see. So away.
You left the dagger in
left
her,
it
and now you're just bolting. I like that a lot. Okay, so you do this, and she looked pretty confident when she rose up, but immediately just starts shrieking in pain. You can see the small trails of smoke rising off of her regulator uniform as this dark purple energy spreads out. The veins are like running up her arms.
Ooh. She's
just sort of flexing there as she's being electrocuted midair. So that is your turn. Next would be Nima, but Rasmus is on hold. So
I think Athena looks over her shoulder as Nima does not die.
Yeah, I think
her boss is like, help!
It is Rasmus's turn, and she has a Joker with +2. So Rasmus is going to attack. And that is a hit with a raise.
There's so many dice, baby.
I just rolled a 32 on her damage.
Oh my god, she's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Alright, so what...
She's so cool. Athena has a new life hero.
Here's what I'm thinking. All this happens very quickly, right? So Athena was bending over Nima's body and questioning her, and they just had their silent conversation. And then Nima inexplicably rose out of her bonds into the air as glowing...
Like a fucking supervillain.
Is glowing purple, and Athena is like desperately shooting lightning into her.
Oh, and she looks very frantic as well.
Yeah, so they're only a couple feet away from you, so I think what happens is Rasmus is a pacifier. Ultimately, her job is to eliminate threats, and she's good at killing, but if possible, they want to preserve. But I don't know if she has that forethought in this moment.
I don't think she would.
So you think I think just a kill shot.
I'm totally
probably
cool if she just kill shots this bitch.
Okay. Rasmus sees you, Athena, looking desperate and shooting her with lightning, and this person just billowing with this power. Rasmus just says, Sedaris! There's a slight spasm in her 2 great mantis claws, and you watch these gleaming steel blades protrude from the claw.
She has extra bits.
It's the claw she already has. You know, like how Mantis has the pincher things?
Yeah.
So it's the pinchy bits in the middle, sort of the V, or maybe just on the last segment of the arms, but it's just one long piece of sharp metal. So it's kind of like a scythe.
Oh, fuck yeah.
But it's on
so
both
cool.
of hers. And jumps forward with her back 2 legs, and as Rasmus is moving, Reitz steps with an outstretched hand to try to catch Rasmus as she leaps and shouts, Stop, don't kill her! Her top 2 claws rake out in this flash and just cleave Nima's head off immediately.
Holy shit!
There's just a blur of motion, and Nima's head just flies.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
I think Athena's very bloody, and she stumbles back.
I mean, do you think there's a more appropriate?
No, that's amazing.
Head goes flying. The energy doesn't disappear immediately, but the body immediately falls to the floor in just a nasty, bloody heap. Rasmus's claw blades sink back into the flesh of her legs as she turns to you.
I think Athena falls down.
Rasmus is right there with a hand on your shoulders. Sedaris, and shakes you a little bit.
Yeah.
You all right?
Better than her.
Yeah.
Thank you for the assist.
Yeah, I think she checks on you, and when she looks at you, there's not panic in her eyes, but there's definitely concern, and her awareness spiked significantly in that moment. Like, she went from being passive
to a pacifier.
From passive to pacifier. Yes, that's good. You can have Benny for that. So I think we just get the shot of Athena having stumbled back onto the ground. Maybe there's just a spray of...
You know what? Maybe the force of her bolts flung her back a bit, and they were a bit more zesty than she thought they would be.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because that was some big damage.
Sure.
For a bolt.
Yeah, it was huge. I think we just have a wide shot of this, the three of you here, you know, Athena panting on the ground with not a gory mess on her, but there's
some blood.
There's some blood.
Well, there's probably some blood from earlier, too.
Yeah.
Athena would take a second to just look at them and try to wipe a little bit of the blood off.
Rasmus is still sort of kneeling down, checking on you, and she examines Nima's corpse and then goes over to collect the head. At least we can kill whatever this is. And the whole time, Reitz is watching Rasmus and not you, like pointedly not looking at Athena. Can you make me a notice roll?
Yes.
This is going to be... Give me -4 for this.
Could I use my conviction to add a d6,
Sure you
please?
can. Go ahead.
Thank you. That made it a 6.
A 6 total. Okay.
Yep.
Athena, in this second pocket of silence while the other two are doing this, you look over to Nima's corpse.
Mm-hmm.
Athena, you watch this purple energy, this nimbus of violet and black, fade away. It's dissipating up into the still air of the office. But as you look, you notice that all of the particles that are disappearing are flowing in the same direction. It's not like they're making a trail because they're disappearing almost right away, but...
Like a magnet?
Yeah. And the magnet is you.
Oh, good! Yeah, why not?
But, I mean, you don't feel anything. Nothing's happening. Nothing's touching you. But they're coming in your direction.
So, they're coming towards Athena.
They're flowing in your direction, but they're dissipating almost immediately.
What if Athena takes a step to the left? Are they still coming towards her, or is they maybe someone hiding behind her?
You take a step to the left, and you do notice the shift of the particulates.
It was worth a shot.
Yeah.
You never know.
Sure.
Maybe Suzette Olivier's just on her like a Yoda backpack. I'd like to use my adventure card.
Oh, what's your adventure card?
My adventure card is Relic.
Relic.
The text is, "This is the sword that cleft the Witch King from crotch to chin." So that's fun.
Gotcha.
Play after accomplishing an important task. An item associated with your victory gains magical powers.
Gotcha.
Parentheses, CGM's guide.
I will hang on to this. So what I will tack on to this scene with you having played that card, and I won't get into specifics until probably next session,
Sure.
is that you look down at Nima's body, and what does Athena feel when she looks down and sees this?
Disappointed. Really disappointed that she couldn't wheedle more out of her, because obviously they were gonna ice her, but not that abruptly. And that purple is real concerning, because thus far, already 3 fucking colors of eyes to worry about. Why not throw one more on the pile?
Sure.
That's where she's at.
And I think as all of this is going through your mind, your circlet heats up again.
Oh, she straightens and she is concerned.
It's not the same flash of pain and anger that you felt before. This time it's more of a soothing contentment.
Oh.
Just like a... And it centers you a bit.
That's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Concerning, but nice. It's never done that before. I think she mentally categorizes that as a thing to worry about later.
Sure. Reitz walks forward and says, "What have you done?" What'd you kill her for? We needed her. She's one of mine.
She was gonna get away. She was just gonna go kill more people. Or enable other people to be killed. Part of some cult or something. I don't know what's going on.
Ritz's lip curls into a snarl and she turns towards you and says, "We could have used her. Needed to find out more."
I didn't take the kill shot.
Shut up.
But I'm glad Rasmus did. Or we might have all died.
And Ritz stomps back towards her desk. Rasmus stands up and I think she gives you sort of a nod of solidarity behind Ritz's back. "I'm not gonna risk more lives for her. Who knows how many people she's gotten killed. We found out enough, it'll be fine." Ritz turns around and just jams a finger in your direction.
My direction?
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
Oh, in both of your direction. Nima was one of mine. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why she did what she did, but we could have found out. We could have... And she swallows and clenches her fists and puts her head down. And she said, "She was my responsibility. And now you take sides again. Always favoritism towards Sidaris."
Ritz, I'm one of yours too.
"No.
No?
You've never been one of mine.
Got
You
this
were
yellow
shins."
badge right here.
"Yes, because the Oculus wanted it. You always were the favorite. Do whatever you damn well please." Rasmus's posture shifts into a slightly more standoffish, aggressive stance. "Yeah, well, maybe. I should have poached her from Shin ages ago, but I didn't. But you know what? That's not really the problem here, Alette." Ritz has this snarl of fury on her face, and she's opening her mouth to respond when there is a loud knock at the door.
I think Athena stiffens and just turns to look over her shoulder at the door.
And Ritz turns and shouts at the door and says, "Enter!"
I think Athena's just rubbing her neck.
And the door cracks open, and Zadal pokes his head in.
Oh!
Looking just as haggard as he had before, probably more so. Yeah, sorry to interrupt your shouting match. Have you seen Athena yet?"
Oh, hey!
"Oh, you here? Good." And he opens the door a little bit wider and steps in, and he, sees dead regulator without head on ground and kind of frantically looks between all of you and say, What the hell happened?"
Interrogations don't always go smoothly.
"Okay. Yeah, we gotta go see the Oculus. About right now."
Right now?
"Yeah, didn't they tell you? I've been looking for you all day. I've been waiting for you to come back.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
And he turns to Ritz and Rasmus, and for a very small man, has very stiff posture, and he says, "They were supposed to tell us as soon as you got back."
I think she looks at them. Were you?
I think both of them. There's almost a mirror of their movements as they both cross their arms and sort of scowl in Zadal's direction.
I mean, Zadal, to be fair, I think I only got back 20 minutes ago maybe, and we were kind of wrapped up in this interrogation. I think it didn't come up.
Well, it should've.
Oh.
There were explicit directions to that effect. Weren't there? He says, still looking at Rasmus and Ritz. "This is the Oculus's command. Don't stand in the way."
Proctor Delegate, if I'm dismissed, I'll submit my report a little later.
Ritz completely ignores you, and she is fixed on Zadal and takes another step. "The Oculus does not command me, little man. Is that a threat?"
I think Athena stands between them.
You do that, and Zadal walks around and stands directly next to you, so you're not shielding him at all, and he says, "No, it's prudent advice. You don't scare me. Don't try and give me orders." Ritz turns and walks back to her desk. I think she upends her desk.
Oh,
I think
shit.
she just picks it up and chucks it. It doesn't go very far, but it tumbles over. The map that was on there billows off. Everything that was on there scatters, and she just gives a and flips it.
Athena goes over to her for just a sec to hand her Nima's badge that she still has.
She's facing away from you as you're walking over, and she hears the steps, and she just does a very, very slow turn with her head hanging lower, and she looks back at you, and there is just abject fury in her eyes. As she stares at you approaching her, you can see her jaw is clenched, the muscles in her neck are strained, her nostrils flare, and she is just puffing.
I think Athena meets her gaze the whole time, but she's not angry. She's kind of sad, because this is obviously a real bad, tough day for Olette. I think she just extends a hand with Nima's badge in it. You should probably have this. I'm sorry.
There is a flicker in her expression, maybe doubt in her eyes, and she reaches a hand out and takes the badge softly. There's still some tension, but the motion is slow and controlled, and she runs a finger over it, and then her hand clenches over a little bit. She starts to turn away, and maybe you just see like one tear run down her cheek, and she just says, "Get out."
Will do, Proctor. I think she nods to Rasmus on the way out, and gives a little regulator salute as she does, but
Zadal, without saying anything else, turns on his heel and begins to walk out, and as you're turning to follow him, Rasmus waves one of her long mantis-like legs to get your attention.
It does, because she's seen what she can do with those legs.
She just puts one finger up to her lips in a silence gesture.
She gives Rasmus a nod like, I know.
Rasmus winks at you.
Athena follows it all.
The door clicks shut behind you. Make me a notice. Just a regular notice.
8.
Ooh, 8 with a raise. You hear a very distinct sob. One of those breaking sobs, sort of like a gasping.
I think she just hesitates outside the door and looks. I mean, she can't see anything, but she does look back. I think she just kind of scratches the back of her neck and looks to Zadal.
Oh, Zadal has not stopped walking.
Oh, he hasn't stopped?
No, he left the room and kept walking.
Oh,
he
shit.
He didn't wait.
Well, then she catches up.
So Zadal, he's probably, how tall do we say he is?
4 foot.
See, he's pretty short.
I guess she can take normal steps to follow him.
Yeah. He's walking hurriedly. He's going back towards the elevator. So you're taking probably normal strides. Zadal is walking much faster. Are you all right?
I survived the day. What are we doing? Nobody told me anything.
I know. We gotta go see Silas. I'll explain once we get down there.
Okay.
But they didn't tell you to come down, did they?
No.
And he just nods to himself. Oh boy. And he, I think you guys get to the elevator and he punches it. It's just you two.
Just us two?
Yep. And Zadal is much more fidgety than normal. He just has trouble standing still.
Athena's very still, actually, in comparison. I think she's worked out a lot of her adrenaline today, and hearing she has to go see Silas is just like, just one more thing on my to-do list.
And I think that calm from your circlet has carried over here.
Yeah.
So I think he might make a couple of small attempts at chatter, but he's not going to push it too much. You can tell his mind is elsewhere, probably towards the room where you're going. So
probably
if you don't engage him beyond that, I think it's mostly just going to be moving in silence.
Right. As they're in the elevator, if they're alone, I think she would just put a hand on his shoulder and say, "Are you doing okay?" And I would just love to play my second adventure card.
Oh my god. Go ahead.
It's love interest.
Oh my. Would you like to read that, please?
I would like to. It says, "Come here often. Play on a non-player character to encourage a romantic interest for your hero. The target helps to the best of their abilities, but may frequently cause trouble as well."
I will take that. Thank you for this gift.
Thank you for this gift.
Oh boy. Well, that's great.
It is great.
Yeah, I love love interest. It's a great card.
It's a great
card. Okay, so you are choosing to play love interest on Zadal.
Yes. Made a lot of jokes about playing it on Bolt, but I want to state very clearly, that would never happen. They're just not made for each other.
All right, so you ask him if he's doing okay. Is that what you're saying? Okay. There's a small start as he feels your hand there, and he just... And shakes his head, and he looks back over his shoulder and up at you, and his eyes are just haggard and tired, and the smoke still moving very slowly, that deep LED blue that, runs his circuitry. And he just looks up at you and he says, No, I'm not doing all right. But I think we're gonna make some progress, so things will be better soon.
Whatever I can do is there anything I can do to help? I don't know what I can do.
Is your hand still on his shoulder?
Probably.
I think he reaches his right hand up and just pats your hand, and he says, We're doing it. Don't worry, Athena. I'm glad you're okay. It's good to see you.
It's good to see you too. I've been worried about you.
Yeah, I've been worried about me too, and you.
I mean, I'm worried about everything all the time, but you've been on my short list this week.
Is that a joke?
Oh, fuck, I'm sorry. Oh, no.
Sorry. Yeah, I've been called little man plenty of times.
Yeah, but that's still, super rude, though.
Yeah, you didn't mean it. It's alright. Can always use a laugh.
Well, I'm always making jokes, but the quality of them is suspect.
Oh, I know. You put your foot in your mouth all the time, and it never ceases to both amaze and delight me.
Oh, well, I'm glad.
Don't stop now on my account.
I don't think I physically could. These elevators are like Mass Effect elevators. I love it.
Yeah, exactly. Are you feeling all right?
I think she's about to just be like, yeah, I'm doing fine. Everything's, it's going okay today, but I think she remembers what Nima said about killing all those civilians, and she didn't quite have time to process that at the moment, but I think she just hears her voice echo in her head, and it kind of punches her in the gut, and I think she's quiet for a minute.
So she doesn't respond?
I don't think so. I think she's trying to sort out how many people she killed tonight. She's trying to do some mental math.
During this silence, which is maybe uncharacteristic for Athena in Zadal's experience, he pauses and he turns around and he gets a good look at your current state, and I think he shakes his head a little bit. Sorry, that's probably a stupid question.
Do you remember that first day we were in the elevator and you said that you didn't want someone with an itchy trigger finger watching your back?
Yeah?
I think you might have been right about me, because I killed a bunch of people tonight, and it turns out they were all citizens. So that's where I'm at with that.
I think he doesn't turn to face you this time, and his head hangs a little bit, and he looks at the ground and he says, Did you have to?
They did attack us, but they didn't at first. But who knows? So I think I'm a bad regulator. I probably shouldn't. I don't know.
I think you're a good regulator, and I think you're being a little hard on yourself, and I don't know everything about the situation, but you generally have good intuition, so just hang in there.
Olette was having kind of a bad 10 minutes. I'm sorry.
He nods. I get it. We're all under pressure here, but we needed to get you down here as soon as possible. So they were supposed to tell us as soon as you got back, and they didn't. And they didn't have a good reason not to, which is concerning.
Well, they don't really trust Silas at all. And I don't know if I do either, but I don't know.
A lot of trust issues going around.
Well, it's hard to find.
I don't think we can trust any of them fully. Not really. I mean, you saw what I saw in Silas's head, Athena.
Yeah, I did.
Something's wrong.
Yeah, Nima, actually, Nima was the one that was in there?
He does turn around at that. His eyes widen, and there's a brief increase to the speed of the blue mist inside. Nima, come on.
Do you know her? Or did you know her much?
And I think when he, when you said that, he took a moment to just put his arm up, and there's a little metal clink as his hand meets the side of the elevator, and he taps his head against it, and he says, not much better than you, probably, but I don't know, she seemed nice.
Yeah, she did. Until she tried to riddle me with holes tonight.
What?
I had to go to the fans to turn them back on.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, and she she's a pretty good shot with sniper rifles that are ballistic, and SMGs also ballistic, and had a bunch of cronies with her and purple eyes, and I don't know what's going on.
Purple eyes? Yeah,
she's convinced that I don't know what she's convinced of, but it can't be good news. Troya is a good target for me to have, it seems, according to new information.
Oh yeah? What's that?
He's definitely connected to the parasite, she says. So, I mean, it's a leap I'd already made, but it's good to hear it from an outside source.
Multiple sources, corroboration, Inquisition 101.
I'm not very good at it.
That's alright. You're good at other stuff.
Apparently keeping hostages alive is not one of them. Well, I guess she's not a hostage. She was a suspect. Never mind.
It's done. I mean, it's done. Purple eyes, you said?
Yeah. She's saying stuff about, I don't know, patrons, and Suzette Olivier came up, and...
Olivier?
Yeah, just a whole bunch of stuff is mixed up in this. So...
In this?
Yeah.
Alright, well, time to get some answers. Maybe.
Maybe?
I guess we'll see.
Oh god, I'd love that.
I think we all would. Need a little bit of good news. A little bit of direction. And I think that's the point when you guys get down
Ding.
and the ding and the door opens. He leads you along the halls, and, more regulators here.
Probably calmer on an inquisitorial floor.
It is calmer. You're not on inquisitorial.
No?
This is the medical level.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. You were most recently here for Pavi. He leads you down a series of corridors, which turn into more corridors, which turn into more corridors, and it's not too long before you've left basically everyone behind. This trek is very similar to like how removed Roja's office is.
Okay.
Like you're just walking down hallways and flights of stairs and stuff, and you realize he's leading you down to a medical wing that isn't really actively in use, basically.
Huh.
Athena, I can't tell you exactly what's going on, but you need to be ready. Just, you seem like you rested and good, so that's...
Do I need to be ready to, throw down?
Probably not in the way you're thinking.
Oh.
And you guys continue walking, and then he leads you to a door, and he pauses and turns back, and he says, it's gonna be alright. Just, everything's good, okay?
Are there sliced up people in there?
No.
Okay, I'll be good then.
And he opens the door and leads you into the room.
Is it dark? Is she killed instantly?
No, it's normally lit.
Okay. Didn't answer that second question, though.
It's basically a medical examination room. Similar to the one that... It's like a cross between the one where Pavi was and where Roja had done the autopsies.
It's like a little bigger, maybe.
It's a little bigger. It's about 20 feet by 20 feet. It's filled with medical devices and systems. There's a padded examination table, a tray of equipment, and several monitors. Next to the table is like a brazier pedestal, and sitting in it is a depleted quarry crystal husk, just like an empty crystal. It's about the size of a football. And in this room, there's a group of people. It's Silas, Pavi, and Roja.
Okay.
And now Zadal has walked in as well. They're all, dressed normally in regulator garb, and everybody turns at once as the door opens and are sort of expectantly waiting. Zadal stands to the side and motions for you to walk in.
She does. She's still trying to get the blood off of her face, maybe.
Wiping at it?
Just wiping at it with her upper arm, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, everybody. Sorry I'm late. I was not aware I was invited to a party till now. What are we doing?
And there's a click behind you as the doll shuts the door and then walks back around in front. I think everybody looks around at each other before looking back to Silas, and Silas is the one who takes a step forward and addresses you.
Right.
Silas Vaz, long dark hair mixed with gray, one black eye, one gray eye. Glasses, lighter skin, he's Vel, so he's got the cat slit pupils.
Probably looks tired.
Yeah, he always looks tired. Now, most of all. He's sort of on par with Zadal in terms of how haggard and exhausted they are.
These poor nerds.
And he says, "That's not to worry, Athena. Welcome."
She inclines her head and just looking between everybody.
Athena, there's much to cover in a very small window of time.
All right.
I had hoped there would be more time to prepare, but I fear we are running out of options and simply can't chance it, especially with the state of the city as it is.
Yeah.
You are a time bomb, Athena.
Excuse me?
Your mind is a time bomb.
What do you mean?
This will make much more sense after I can take a look and try to help you. I can't tell you too much more without risking harm to you.
Oh boy.
Do you understand?
I think so.
I think he looks around at everybody and says, Do you trust us, Athena? If not me, then... And he holds his hand out to Pavi and Roja, who, they look worried, happy to see you, but worried.
Right.
And Pavi sort of puts up a little hand and waves fingers at you and says, "It's gonna be all right, Athena."
I think she rubs her forehead and she's starting to get really sweaty. And she's very nervous.
Mm-hmm.
I think she has to sit down.
Yeah, if she looks like she's having trouble, Pavi takes a couple steps forward to support you and says, "Here, Athena, come lie down."
Okay.
She takes you over to the examination table and has you lie down there on the table.
I think she pokes at Pavi's shoulder a little bit.
What?
Just making sure you're real.
She gives you a sad smile, but winks back at you and squeezes your arm and sets you on the table.
Well, she's sitting, I guess.
There is a bright light above you, which Silas pushes off to one side so it's not shining in your eyes.
I think she blinks a couple times, says thanks.
And now we have a point of view shot up to the ceiling from Athena. Silas appears on your right, Zadal appears on your left, and you hear the tinks of his feet, and he goes up a little bit.
Right, like tiptoes in it?
Like maybe he stepped on something to
nice.
be taller. And down at the feet of the table, on one side is Roja, and on the other is Pavi.
How's Roja looking?
Her expression is a mixture of professional businesslike, as a medical practitioner, and her eyebrows are furrowed, and she's very focused and concentrated, but maybe a little concerned too.
Oh man, if Roja's concerned.
She looks up and sees you looking at her, and then sort of cracks a small, encouraging smile and pats your leg.
I guess Athena's just laying down. What are we doing exactly?
Roja walks around to the other side, and she goes over to a bank of the monitors and says, "Well, her heart rate appears to be slightly elevated."
Oh, yeah?
Athena, do you need a relaxant?
Oh, probably.
Are you going to be all right?
I wouldn't say no. It's been a very trying day.
Roja comes over and pulls a long, needle from underneath her tongue and holds it up and says...
She does have to look away.
Yeah, "This is a muscle relaxant. It will not affect your mind.
Okay.
But it should take the edge off."
Sure.
And she sticks it into your arm. There's
I'm so nervous. Me, Allie,
yeah.
I am so nervous right now.
Silas looks down at you and puts one hand on your circlet, and he says, "All right, we're going to begin, Athena. Please remember, the mind can be fragile. This must be done with as much care as we can muster. It may feel slow, your focus may skip, endure, persevere. You can do this.
Yeah.
I can't give you any more, I'm sorry."
That's okay. I'm sorry too. I'm just sorry about everything, I guess.
You've nothing to be sorry about, Athena. It'll all make sense soon.
We'll see.
It'll make sense, don't worry. Zadal, on the opposite side, also puts one of his hands on your circlet. You see Pavi down at your feet, giving you sort of a very worried sidelong smile, but tries to look as encouraging as possible.
I don't think Athena's smiling. I don't think she has the strength to right now.
Pavi touches her tattoo.
That helps.
To make that. And
that
you have
feels nice.
that reassuring tap on there.
Before she loses control of her limbs, she puts her hand on her tattoo just to kind of just chill there. So I think Athena is laying on this very clinical table all of a sudden. I think her eyes are a little glassy, and she's panicking just a bit, and she can't move quite right because the sedatives are kicking in. I think she looks at Pavi and she says, "I'm scared."
Pavi walks around to your head, and she puts her fingers in your hair and gives your head a couple of scratches and leans down, and she says, "I know. It's going to be okay. We're all here for you. You just gotta be strong for a little bit longer, okay?" And she gives you a kiss on the forehead. Zadal also speaks up and he says, "We're gonna be right here. It's gonna be alright."
I think she just takes a deep old breath there and just nods. Let's do it.
Silas and Zadal on either side begin to squint in concentration, and there's a surge of white-hot energy that sears against your skin on your forehead, and then the room is gone, and it's blackness everywhere. And you yourself are conscious and aware, but everything is gone. You find yourself standing in just nothingness, with nothing around you. And then you're in Silas's office.
Huh.
And it's you and Silas. Silas is sitting on the other side of his desk. His legs are up on the desk, and he's speaking to you. You're sitting in a chair across from him. And it's like you're watching a movie. You are yourself sitting there, and you're having a conversation with him, but you don't feel like you're actively in control of this conversation.
Right.
Right? Like you're a participant here.
Yeah.
And he says, "Athena, I'm going to need to take a look inside your mind. You were a slave for so long. We must be sure that your mind is your own, that you have not been tampered with." And he stands up and he walks around to the opposite side of the desk. And what we see playing out here is your memory from when you first came back to the city. And everything proceeds like normal.
Very stressful meeting.
And he puts his hands on your circlet and burns himself just like he did. Conversation, and he doubles back and says, "Let's try again, shall we?" And goes back in, and this time he smashes your mental defenses to pieces. Images, still frames from your mind's eye, sounds, voices wash over you in almost an incomprehensible wave. It's like drowning in your own thoughts. And he sees everything, as far as you can tell.
Oh, good.
You see a quick flit of Strickland's manse, dark purple light tinged with black tints everything you see. You can feel Silas's surprise, and then his panic, and then his absence as he, rushes away from your head yet again. But the purple tint remains over your vision, and you're awake in the chair, speaking to Silas, and the purple filter, everything that you see has this strange hue to it. And Silas is several feet away, leaning very heavily on the edge of his desk. Sweat beads on his brow, and his body shudders with each breath, and he turns to look back at you with wide eyes, staring at you through strands of his tousled hair.
As Silas stands there, Athena's just blinking her eyes and trying to figure out what's going on, because she just came out of this deep brain dive and her body is not totally awake yet, and she tries to get up. I don't think her legs are working quite right yet, and she falls to the ground and tries to get on the other side of the chair, but she just keeps shaking her head. "What did you do to me? What did you do to my eyes?"
It's a long several seconds while Silas stares at you. With quick, focused movements, he moves back around to the other side of his desk, opens a drawer. There's a small hum of energy, and he pulls out a handgun and aims it at you. Athena, as Silas pulls this gun on you, the purple filter over your eyes, there's a ripple and it brightens and then darkens again, and you just feel this surge of rage, just anger that he would pull a gun on you. If you could give me a smarts roll, please.
5.
5, and I would like you to add your +4.
My goodness, that's a 9.
So it's a 9, okay. So 9 beats a 5, which is what you roll against. So you feel this wash of just anger as he points the gun at you, but it passes. Your circlet heats up, and this time, this is different. You felt the external pressure, like people trying to push into your mind. This is like they're already past that first barrier. So it's coming from the inside, but you can still feel the resistance.
She shakes her head and rubs at her circlet. What's wrong with my eyes?
They're purple.
Why?
I don't know.
I think she's just blinking her eyes and trying to keep a beat on it, and she keeps blinking it and it's not going away.
Is that it? You're here to kill me?
No!
I don't believe you.
Duh. Can I say anything that would make you believe me?
I would like you to make a persuasion at -2.
Gotcha.
To convince him that you are not here to kill him.
Well, that's 2.
Silas continues pointing the gun, but he walks around the desk, brusque, businesslike. Who sent you?
No one sent me, I just came back.
What do you want? Why are you following me?
I'm not! I just got here!
Hits another switch on the gun and you hear it sort of dial up again. He says, I swear I will burn a hole right through you. Don't test me.
I don't think you will.
I think his eyes narrow. Oh?
Or you would have already shot me.
No, I just need what you have.
Oh, good. Why don't you just take it? Why don't you just hollow out my fucking brain like a goddamn grapefruit?
I think there's a very just sneering expression on his face and says, you would love that. Just step right back into your mind so you can attack me.
What are you talking about? I didn't attack you.
Bullshit.
I didn't do anything.
You asked for this, and here we are.
Even if I hadn't asked for it, I'm pretty sure you would have come and found me.
Why would I be looking for you? You've been gone for 7 years, Athena.
Well, I assumed it was gonna be Jex, but it might as well be you. Might as well.
What was that?
What was what?
In your mind, 7 years ago.
That's why I left. I assumed you knew. I assumed he just passed a torch.
Well, I am Oculus, but I'm not part of some velveteen secret society.
How was I supposed to know? I didn't know anything, so I left. And I wouldn't even come back probably if Pavi hadn't come and found me.
Yes, how did she find you? Do tell.
You don't already know?
I'd like to hear you tell me. Call it a test.
She came to find me because she'd been looking for a long time, apparently. And some hacker seemed to know who I was and where I was and was like, hey, Pavi, why don't you go find your friend on this good intel I have, and I'll set you up and I'll be great. I don't really care for this person because I don't know them, and they kind of got me on the hook for some shit that I probably don't want to be doing in the future. But that's neither here nor there.
Who is Thalasica?
I don't know. I'd like to, but I don't.
Why are you so wrapped up in this?
I don't know why Joel would have walked down that hole. He wouldn't have done it. Had to have been Jex. He touched him and then he walked down the fucking hole. So that's all the information I have, is what I saw. I don't have any information. I have far less family than when I left, and I might not even still have a friend. So I've got nothing. Just across the board. So you might as well just shoot me.
Join the club. It's a sad world, isn't it? You know what we have? The city. So I'm going to do my job and defend it.
Okay. How do we do that?
There is no we right now, Athena. There is me. There is the Oculus, there are the regulators, and there is Caldonix. You are an anomaly. I don't know how you factor into this. I believe that I saw in your mind. I saw bits and pieces. I believe that you are not I don't know. I don't know what I believe, but your eyes are purple. And someone with the same eyes tried to kill me and escaped. They're still out there, and I don't know who they are, and I don't know where they are, and I don't know why they want me dead, but they do, and they're not the only ones.
Well, that one wasn't me, because I've been up on the surface for 7 years.
Yes, that's...
So I don't...
But you're connected to them. Some way, somehow, I don't know how, but you are.
To my knowledge, this has never happened before. And I'm very concerned that everything is still very purple.
Yes, that doesn't seem to have gone away. It's not helping your case.
Yeah, I don't think I can actually control that. It's never happened before.
Yes, how convenient that the first time it happens is when you're meeting with the Oculus, who just so happens to be looking inside your mind. Convenient,
I don't know
isn't
what to tell you, man. This is the hand
Well,
I've been dealt, apparently.
Well, you should tell me something that prevents me from burning a hole through your chest, because that is the quickest, most expedient way to deal with this situation.
Tell me what to tell you. I don't know what... There's nothing I can tell you that will make me look less suspicious, because I'm incredibly suspicious. I mean, where have I been? I've been... I went to the surface and I started a mercenary website, which is doing really well. That's neither here nor there. What I was doing on the surface, I was using it to just build a network of people maybe I could call on, if need be, to figure out stuff down here in the city once I was ready to go back. And, I don't think I was ready to come back, but Pavi found me, and that kind of put a timer in motion I didn't anticipate. And I had a loose end to tie up. Dietrich Strickland, you'll probably hear about that. I killed him. He's been smuggling stuff out of the city, probably smuggling stuff into the city, I don't know.
Smuggling ring. Well, that certainly factors into everything that's going on, I'm sure. I don't know how yet, but...
Can I tell you anything about that? What would help?
How am I to trust anything you say? Or how am I to tell you anything of value when I can't trust that your mind will not betray itself and us? You were always a good regulator, Athena. You would have done well as Proctor. I believe that. Yes, well, however you feel about it, you're talented, you are strong-willed, you are determined. Athena, this city is dysfunctional. Let us not beat around the bush about it. I love the city. This is my home. This is the only home I've ever known. And I find myself in a position that I did not bargain for, in a role that must be filled. There are things that must be done to keep the city safe, to keep the people, to keep things moving. But the city's changed over time. Things are not the way they used to be. Regulations, laws, offices need to change with the times. Leadership, the governing body, needs to change with the times.
I mean, didn't they add new seats?
Needs to change in a positive manner. We have corrupt bureaucrats, politicians looking to line their pockets with our cubes, with our resources invading, coming into our city, trying to make decisions because they once held resources we required, but no more. We could be self-sufficient.
But now they've got their fingers in us.
Yes, they have. We have no formal military. We have regulators. We have the Cassians, when they're not fighting in the tunnels.
I mean, somebody's gotta...
Yes, they do. And we are always grateful for everything they provide. But my point is that the more security ArcLaricorp brings from the surface, the worse position we will be in. What happens if they stage a coup? What happens if they decide they don't need us anymore? The only reason they haven't, Athena, make no mistake, is because they haven't been able to yet. We are fortified, we are underground, they can't bring their war machines down here. We keep it out. We destroy contraband. We regulate heavily all activity in the city. This is no longer an option. We are spread too thin. There aren't enough of us. And there are even less who are trustworthy to do the right thing.
So we need to... oust AlariCorp? How would we even start to do that? They have half of a city.
I don't know, Athena. I have been... Again, I think he stops and cuts off. Athena, I don't know how much longer things can remain as they are. This is...
A tipping point?
Yes. This city is in a bad way. Things have been changing over the last several years, but especially in the last several months. Activities picked up even in weeks. Something has changed. I don't know what, but here you are. Here you are back in the city.
Here I am.
I don't know how you're connected to this. Athena, I cannot let you leave with things as they are. There's something wrong with your head. You have information that could be damning, or I don't know. I want to trust you. I want to trust you, Athena. I want this to work out. I need more allies I can trust here. He takes another long pause. The purple.
Purple.
Did you see anything?
When?
I suppose in the last several weeks. You said you created your circlet. This is new. This has never happened before.
I don't...
You've never had purple eyes? You can't even see your eyes, so how would you know?
I guess I wouldn't... I feel like I would have known, right? 'Cause they're purple now, right?
Yes, very.
Well, I can see this.
What
I
do you
couldn't
mean you-
before.
What do you mean you can see this?
Everything's purple. I don't...
Oh, purple. Then I don't know what to say then.
Is it just like my iris, or is it everything? I can't see.
It's everything.
Oh, good.
And you don't... Kicks a foot out at his desk and barely clips it because he's a noodle. I would desperately love to believe that everything is fine and that you are on the up and up. Help me do so. Give me something, Athena. Give me some way to trust you here. Please.
You can't. I can't go inside my own brain to figure out what's going on. I wasn't aware of this purple bullshit until same time as you. I don't know. Because I can't see a way out of this office that isn't in a body bag.
Try harder. Think harder. You expect me to believe you fled the city and survived with those cretins on the surface for 7 years, and now you're going to roll over and die because you can't think. Joel Shin would have a plan. He wouldn't sit idly by.
Joel Shin wouldn't have had a plan right away either. He took his time to stop and think, and maybe that's what we need to do too. So maybe you can help me. With your big old brain, you gotta have something. You know what I'm good at. What can I do? I'm not exactly a powerhouse of thought at any given time, 'cause I haven't had a lot of idle time to sit and think, 'cause I've been on the run for 7 years. It doesn't give you a lot of time for self-reflection there, Silas.
Time and planning are not luxuries we have right now, Athena. But maybe you could be useful sitting idly by.
I think she narrows her eyes a little bit.
He's pacing. You have some sort of connection to all of this, and we don't know what it is. And it doesn't seem as though you yourself are malicious. Maybe we can use that to pull them out, to drag them into the light.
That's an idea.
Or, at the very least, find a way to reverse engineer whatever this is with your head and use it to learn more. I do hate squandering resources. He's begun to pace during this, and he's still holding the gun, but I think he's set it a little bit lower, so it's not humming as loudly as it was before, but
That's something.
he's pacing in circles around the cylinder of Corey energy.
Why is there just... You have so much Corey behind that wall. Why do you need an extra little... just to walk around it dramatically?
I didn't put it here. I don't know the answer to that. It's a fixture, I suppose. Ornamental, perhaps. Who's to say? Athena, I don't want to kill you. I do not want to kill you. I think there would be quite a number of people who would resent that. Excluding yourself, of course.
I think she just raises a hand, like about to say something, and then just flops it back down on the armrest.
So, let me put all my cards on the table. Well, not all my cards, but let me put some cards on the table. Something is wrong with your mind. You are somehow linked to another with purple eyes that tried to kill me.
Mm-hmm.
You have come back after 7 years with intimate knowledge of some sort of shadowy cabal, not only in our city, but in our department, in our organization, with at least one individual who is still active.
I mean,
Shh.
She just bites her lip.
Yeah, and it's
hard
more
enough to almost make it bleed.
Yeah, it's more of an offhand, like he's not looking at you while he does this. He's looking at the ground and sort of laying things out in his mind, and he just waves a hand and shushes you. You are compromised. My position gives me authority to do as I see fit in the defense of the city. However, you are tethered to at least one council member and are part of an influential family. It would not sit well for you to disappear or suffer greater consequences. Nor do I wish that. I cannot allow you to walk free and roam the city as you are now, and I now have reason to distrust everyone in this department even more than I already do. So, what are our options, Athena? Help me think of some.
Okay.
Option 1, I kill you. I don't like that option.
I mean, I don't know if it's the smartest one, but it's certainly the most direct. And I think she looks at him, but almost with a challenge.
I think he shakes his head and says, don't try it, Athena.
I don't want to.
Nor do I.
I don't want to. See, the shit of it is, I ran away to get away from people going into my brain, and it seems like someone was already in my brain before I even left, so I didn't even have to leave and didn't have to just leave this trail of broken people in my wake. Because it seems like all I'm good at doing is dealing damage. Physical, emotional, and mental, apparently. I'm just a triple threat, I guess.
Maybe it's time for a triple threat.
I mean, can't you just wipe me clean? Just make me forget. You're probably good at that.
I am. And I could, but doing so will require that I touch your mind again, and I know there is a presence waiting for me. So, I don't know how that would pan out, but that is an option, yes. This is not something I've directly encountered before, so I'm sure you understand this is a bit hypothetical and experimental.
I feel like there's a third option somewhere, and it's just a...
Elusive.
Yeah, elusive's a good word for it. What did you do to Pavi? Because I found out that somebody did something to Pavi's brain. And gosh, I'd like to know who.
He looks over to you and then away again and stands, clasps his hands behind him as he circles the pillar in thought. She's assisting me.
Knowingly?
In a manner of speaking. She's a regulator. It's her job to keep the city safe, as it is mine.
You could have just asked her. You didn't have to go right to Trix. She's pretty agreeable.
I've no doubt of that. She's quite willing to accept any outside offers of help, to give her what she wants. Do you know what another word for that is, Athena?
I'm sure you'll tell me.
Corruption? Bribery, perhaps? Because you see, it was so strange to see the assignment list come across my desk, listing a non-inquisitor regulator being sent to the surface, no less. Slipped in at the last minute. bound for a train in 2 hours. Suspicious, isn't it?
No, that's very suspicious.
So, what would you do in this circumstance, Athena? Would you meet with them, question them, allow them to give you a reasonable explanation as to why they didn't bother to report it themselves, implicate themselves into something underhanded?
Fun thing about that is that I'd have to, because I can't do any brain stuff.
Pavi is fine. She has been keeping tabs on you.
Just since she's been up there?
Yes. She was to report back to me with any notable information she discovered relating to you, your past, where you've been, why she was sent there in the first place.
And that's all?
Yes, that's all. I had to be sure she would do the right thing for the city. That is her duty. And do you know why I let her go? Because I wanted it to be true. I hoped you would be out there and come back, and that maybe this was, I don't know, some sort of a sign or something we could use. Maybe trails off and begins to turn away, but then pauses and looks back. While we're on the subject, Thalassica, I know what Pavi knows about her. Pavi looked for you, years ago. Went to some disreputable sources for assistance. She seems to have learned her lesson since, and she's also made a mess for your aunt, so I'm willing to let that one slide. But then she was approached by an unknown source that dangled the information like a piece of Keltis on a stick in front of a domba, and she was only too happy to agree. What does this Thalassica want? Why is she helping you? Why are you back in the city almost at her behest? Maybe she's the one trying to kill me. Maybe she's the one who messed with your head.
Oh, I mean, it's all within the realm of possibility. But Thalassica wants to destabilize Olaricorp. So, I'm kind of an arrow in her quiver that she's gonna use to just to fuck up Olaricorp, I guess.
I think that catches Silas by surprise, and his brows furrow in thought, and he begins to pace again.
See, I'm supposed to find out some information about a guy, Harlan Troya.
Yeah, he looks to you and wrinkles his nose and says, the name is passingly familiar, but nothing substantial. I'm sure we have a file on him somewhere.
Yeah, I was gonna go look at that.
Works for Olaricorp?
I don't know. I don't know anything about him.
Oh.
I was just given a name, and I gotta go find out more. But if he's involved with Olaricorp, gotta take out a small brick to make the ones on the top fall down. And she's gesturing with her hands the whole time at different levels by her face.
He nods to this and says, certainly bears further investigation, but it doesn't rule out her motives.
No, it doesn't.
Just because she wants Olaricorp down doesn't mean she doesn't want us gone as well.
I mean, enemy of my enemy, I guess.
Could still be an enemy, yes.
Yeah, could still be, but is, not
I understand.
overtly hostile right now.
Yes, understood.
Yeah,
Thank you.
because I'm just a master of strategy.
He smiles but says nothing.
When did they start trying to kill you? Just, sorry, it's a very forward question.
Well, this particular assassin, in the last several months.
Has anyone else, attempts on their lives?
Not that I'm aware of, but this is a city. Death is part of life. There are murders, of course. No evidence to support that these particular circumstances.
I just don't understand why they'd be coming after you. What do you know that they don't want other people to know? What about that?
I think he smiles a little bit.
Isn't that a fun little tidbit?
Yeah, I think he smiles at you and inclines his head. I wish I knew. Well, rather, I wish I didn't know, and then they would have no reason to kill me, but I'm afraid I don't know the answer to that either. But they want it, And they have tried, and I dare say they will try again. I don't enjoy false modesty, but I am powerful, Athena. It is difficult for others to get the upper hand on me if I don't want them to, but I'm not impervious. My guard is not impeccable. They will succeed eventually, if we don't find them. If I don't find them. But I've all but made peace that that is unlikely to happen. And when I am dead, who will take my place? I don't have anyone under my wing that I would trust to take my position and not be influenced by the politics of the situation, to not fall under the thumb of someone else.
Was that why Jex picked you?
What do you mean?
I don't know.
Jex didn't choose me. Jex left. I attained the position. This is not a dynasty, Athena.
I know you apply and stuff.
Yes.
But you were the brainchild, right? Like, that was you.
He was my mentor, my professional mentor. We were not as close as you and Joel Shin. I don't know, Athena. He's looking into the orange glowing light of the Cori cylinder as it drifts by, and you do get a shot of that orange reflecting in his glasses. I wish I knew. If that was Jax, I don't know, Athena. I don't know what it means. I don't know why that would have happened, but something is amiss, and we need to find out what.
I've had a long time to tumble all this around. Sometimes I even second-guess what I saw because maybe it would have been better or easier if I hadn't, but there were way too many people up there.
What do you mean?
In the hoods. I don't know. Who were they? Why?
I don't know.
They're
Athena.
not... It's not regulation. I mean, they were all on the ground. So I don't know who these people are. But I know that they're obviously wrapped up in this, and maybe... I don't know. Joel was a good man, and he did a lot of good in the city, and now he's just gone. He didn't get to go on his adventure. He was really excited about it.
You say that, and Silas looks over to you and does have a small, sad smile on his face.
She's crying a little bit, just sort of welling up.
Well, it seems like maybe you've had enough adventure for him as well.
Oh, I don't think he'd like my adventures.
I never knew him, but well, a man of honor and dignity. He cared about his people, which is commendable. But if Jex Davith killed him, then perhaps being trusting was not the right decision. Which brings us to the now, Athena. As I've said, I don't trust anyone, so I need to find someone that will fit the bill.
Yeah, well, I trust your judgment. Because...
It's kind of you to lie.
Well, I mean, I'm not really in a position to not trust your judgment right now.
I hate this job, Athena.
Then why are you doing it?
Because someone has to. Someone trustworthy, if not beyond reproach. And I don't trust anyone else to do it. And I can't sit by and do nothing while our city consumes itself, or we're invaded by a foreign power under the guise of gifts and handshakes. I won't stand for it, not anymore.
We shouldn't. What are we gonna do about it?
We're going to gamble, I suppose. Fitting that we would use their own tools against them. You should be wary of anyone with ties to AlariCorp. Their motivations are obviously suspect.
Oh, you mean... you mean like me? You can't just throw that out as a blanket statement.
You must keep your eyes open.
If you take all my memories, I won't remember to be.
I suppose that's true. But if I implant a suggestion, then your behavior may be off. So I'll have to hurry. You know, this is not what I expected.
What did you expect?
Help, maybe? No strings attached? Would be, I suppose, too much to ask for, even once. but I heard you were alive and that maybe you could be brought back. And here you are.
She just shrugs. Here I am.
It is good to see you, Athena.
It's good to see you too.
I wish things were different.
Sorry you hate your job.
I wish I could do more to help people, but all this cloak and dagger. It's been more dagger than cloak, it seems. I am so tired, Athena. Tired of looking over my shoulder every day. Sleeplessness and nightmares. This job. Everything. And something has to give soon. And this seems as good a place as any to hedge some bets. I haven't had a good chance to roll the dice in a while.
Maybe it's time to give as good as you've been getting.
He struggles with speaking a number of times. Not like he's having a hard time, he's trying to formulate a thought and keeps backtracking. I don't have the time nor the resources to keep you under full surveillance. I can't risk allowing you to leave here to go back to the surface or to live privately. I am afraid that if I re-enter your mind, I don't know what's going to happen.
I mean, can I help you fight it off with, I don't know, brain fisticuffs if I'm aware of what's going on? I don't know.
Perhaps.
Oh, what a puzzler. She says, and just...
I think that does elicit a laugh from him, and he says, I'm sorry, Athena, I wish I could tell you more. I wish I knew more. That's sort of the rub of it, is it's not your mind that's the problem. It's what's adjacent to your mind. It's not necessarily in your mind or a part of your mind. It exists in the barrier between your mind and external threats. It is barring entry into your mind, but could exert influence. And I don't know what that means.
Could we just rip it off?
Your circlet?
Yeah, why not? I mean, it was real hard to make, but apparently I don't need it.
Well, I'm also concerned of if it does have tethers into your psyche, what that would do to you. Athena, this is more of a surgical procedure. A scalpel rather than a ripping off a band-aid. There's no use putting it off, Athena.
Is it gonna hurt?
Maybe. Probably.
How do I make sure whatever's in my brain doesn't hurt you again?
I don't think you can. I think if you can try to suppress it or keep it under control or keep it away from me while I work, the attention I don't need to devote to it is time I can spend working and making sure this is done properly.
I don't really know a lot about brains, but how much time, if I can even distract it, how much time do you need? 'Cause I'd really just like this to go off and not leave me mentally scarred. That'd be super. And I'd like it to not hurt you. So why don't you, you're gonna have to tie me onto something. 'Cause if I start going crazy, at least you can aim better.
Athena, if it comes to that, I don't need a gun to kill you.
Oh. You know what? If it comes to that, tell my parents I died doing something real brave. 'Cause I think I am.
I think you are very brave, Athena. I think you have taken your own share of risks and pushed yourself outside of your comfort zone to survive, and I admire that. And I need to think about the survival of the city.
I mean, we're regulators. Caldonics comes first.
I will speak with your parents.
I appreciate that.
Now, do you have your wits about you? You need to focus. Don't let doubt cloud your mind.
I think she sits there and she just keeps balling and unballing her fists, and she looks back up at him and her eyes are still very glossy and purple.
We will suppress this for now. You're connected to this, Athena. We need to use that connection to ferret out whoever is behind all this.
If it works and you partition it off, maybe they'll just come find me in person. Maybe.
Maybe. It's time, Athena.
I don't know how long I can keep all this whatever the fuck at bay, but I'll give you as long as I can. Okay? You got this.
He gives you a strained smile and says, "It'll have to do." And leans in, places his hands on either side of your circlet. There's a surge of heat. The room swirls and spirals out of view in a surge of purple and black light. Thank you for listening to this episode of Neon Heat. Savage Worlds is owned by the Pinnacle Entertainment Group, and you can find them and their products online at peginc.com. You can find our website at rpgforyouandme.com, where we update weekly with new episodes, character art, and bios. Neon Heat features the music of the very talented Crockett, who you can find at crockett.bandcamp.com and on Twitter at Crockett80s. We're on Twitter at rpgforyouandme, and Allie is at UCTheHat, where she posts art from the show. Allie also runs a side campaign for me that's available to our Patreon members, and you can find us there at patreon.com/rpgforyouandme. Any support means the world to us, and it makes it easier to make a quality episode every week for you. If you like the show, the best way to support us is to leave a 5-star rating and review, but even more importantly, tell a friend about us. If you're looking for more Savage Worlds content, please check out Sounds Like Crows. It's an actual play Deadlands Reloaded podcast about 5 brothers on a quest for revenge in the supernatural Wild West. The cast is outstanding, and the audio and editing quality is cinematic and top-notch. The game marshal, Caleb Sunstead, is extremely talented and dedicated. Thank you again for listening. We know there are a lot of podcasts out there, so it means the world that you spent a little bit of your day with us. See you next week.